And now you come to Carlos Baleba and, as you say, Brighton are going to ask for a lot of money for him. I don't know the exact figure. I don't know if that's actually been communicated yet, but clearly United feel that they might have a chance on this. Otherwise, they wouldn't be entering these kind of talks, that I think have been going on for a little bit of time via intermediaries. And now, as David Ornstein's reported, with Brighton as well. So I think United feel that this is the summer to try and steal a march on other clubs that might go for him next year. And now, can they make it work financially? I think payment terms is a big thing, installments, being able to actually pay the cash across. So that's, again, we're going back to this credit facility. And then you come to PSR and FFP. United are on record as saying they will be compliant with the financial regulations, both in the Premier League and for UEFA, even though they're not in European competition this year. They need to kind of still play ball on that because they're hoping to get back into it. So you can't suddenly have like one wild year where you lose a load of money and then hope to make it up in future years. One thing too that has been to their benefit is the season when Erik ten Hag first came in. So we're talking about the Anthony and Casemiro summer, where they did lose quite a lot of money. That's going to fall off the 3-year rolling cycle that they then come to when the next year's accounts are kind of filed. So they've got a bit more wriggle room on that. But I still feel they need sales, right? They have to have sales to make this all work. And that's why, to Andy's point, it feels possibly remote at the moment with Baleba, but clearly there's something there where United are getting an impression, I would say, that Baleba's open to this, but clearly Brighton are very hard negotiators. They are not going to just allow a player to leave, and that's why it kind of makes it perhaps at the far end of possibilities at the moment. But as we've seen with Ratcliffe, he's trying to force through the new stadium. He's put that out into the public domain to get government backing for it. He's obviously built a new training ground to the tune of £50 million, which we'll get onto, no doubt. He's committed the cash to 3 major signings. So these are 3 of the most expensive signings in United's history out of the top 10. So that's something to take note of. And I do wonder, whether there was a point at which they're sort of thinking we need to be prudent, we need to be smart about the transfers that we make. And then you have this trip to Iceland where, I'm not going to say that they were fishing the whole time, but obviously they had opportunity to discuss in a kind of leisurely fashion, get face to face with each other. And I do wonder if that from that point they've kind of decided we're going to go for it. We're going to go for it now this summer to make a real impact. We've got opportunities to get players in that we'd want to get in at any point. Clearly Baleba is a player that I think United would love to sign at any point in their arc of success or not. And so if they can do it now, then they can kind of figure out the finances later. I kind of feel like that's where they're at with this all. And Amorim's wanted an athletic number 8, should we say, maybe number 6, the whole summer really. So this has been something that's been bubbling on in the background whilst they first address the glaring issues at the top of the pitch.
And then, guys, one more name we have to mention again today is Carlos Baleba. Because for Carlos Baleba, I don't expect any development today, so the situation was quiet today. But over the weekend, Manchester United maintain contacts with the agents of the player. So Manchester United remain in direct contact. From tomorrow, so from Tuesday, I expect Tuesday, Wednesday, Manchester United to try understand how is the situation with Brighton. If they have a chance to negotiate, or if it's going to be really impossible to break that wall that Brighton always build around their top players when it's time to sell them. So let's see what's going to happen there, because let me repeat to you, Baleba is not closing doors to Man United. Personal terms will not be an issue. That's my understanding, and I maintain that. Then, on club side, work still needed, but these contacts for Baleba between Manchester United and Brighton are expected to continue. Not today, Monday, today is not the day, but from the next days, already this week, more contacts will take place to understand more on the Carlos Baleba story. So let's follow this one, let's see what happens, but for sure Manchester United keep working on a midfielder, because Ruben Amorim, during the internal meetings they're having at Manchester United, has been quite clear with the people at the club. Super happy with the transfer window, Mbeumo, Cunha, Baleba, also the addition of Diego Leon as a left wing back, but obviously, Cunha, Mbeumo, sesko. I already included Baleba, but is Cunha, Mbeumo, sesko, and Baleba is the top target now. So what Ruben Amorim said, super happy with the market so far, but internally he feels if Man United can bring in a midfielder and maybe a goalkeeper, that will be a fantastic window. It will depend on the opportunities. Let's see what happens with Baleba. But from tomorrow, more contacts and we will follow the situation.
Manchester United are aiming to send shivers down the spine of the footballing world, and that's exactly what will happen if they pull off a summer deal for Carlos Baleba. With Brighton demanding more than £100 million and United already spending close to £200 million on 3 new signings, securing Baleba would be nothing short of a shockwave, especially after the club spent weeks pleading poverty heading into the window. Talks with Baleba himself have gone smoothly. That's half the battle. But the bigger fight is with Brighton, who are determined to make the deal as difficult as possible. For this move to happen, Baleba may have to take matters into his own hands, much like Bryan Mbeumo did. The Mbeumo deal took time because United could afford to be patient. The forward had already made it clear he wanted Old Trafford, which shut down any bidding wars or last-minute hijacks. And while United negotiated hard with Brentford, players inside the dressing room were busy doing their part, constantly talking to Mbeumo, encouraging him to stay firm on his choice and taking leverage away from Brentford. We know Andre Onana was one of those voices, and since Mbeumo's arrival, he's confirmed as much. Now, according to The Athletic's David Ornstein, United are using the exact same tactic for Carlos Baleba. A number of United players have been in direct contact with the Brighton midfielder, painting a picture of the club's future and its ambitions. As a fellow Cameroonian, Onana is almost certainly involved again, and Mbeumo's presence only strengthens that connection. If United pull it off, Baleba would complete a Cameroonian trio alongside Onana and Mbeumo, a powerful blend of talent, chemistry and national pride, right at the heart of Old Trafford. Brighton won't make it easy, and the price tag is steep. But United's approach, combining boardroom negotiations with player-to-player influence, could prove decisive. The message is clear. When this club truly wants a player, they attack the deal from every possible angle. If Baleba decides he wants Manchester United badly enough, just like Mbeumo did, then Brighton's resistance might only be delaying the inevitable.